Hey, and welcome back to my channel. I'm Sarah Liz, and I've got some updates and some spoilers for you today. In the update category, well, I am back from a little bit of a holiday break. Thanks. I'm a priest, so we work a bunch, toward Christmas. But I've got a fabulous new chapter for Loki of Midgard that I'm going to be putting up in the next few days. And I've got a whole new round of guided meditations and foods for thought and way of love stuff for your spiritual edification. And I'm really excited because I often do the food for thought exercises that I set other people to do. And if I don't do them that time, then they're things that I've done before. So I sat down and I did this week's food for thought exercise, and it was so good. I insisted my husband sit down and do it as well. And it was just fantastic. So I highly recommend it to you. Let's see. I'm very excited because I am going to give all of my patrons the chance for a New Year's gift. I do have patrons, and you can become one too over at patreon.com/SareLiz. And on January 15th, a lucky $5 tier patron is going to get their name pulled from a hat, and they are going to have naming rights for a character in the series Loki of Midgard. And so I'm really excited about that. And I will announce this right here on updates and spoilers. And also, I'm really excited because everybody was telling me, it really helps to have, you might hear the cats in the background playing with their Christmas toys. There are some jingle balls that they like to roll around. Yep, jingle balls. Anyway, everyone has been telling me it's super useful to set goals. And I thought to myself, but I have figured out some decent and reasonable goals. And so for every 25 patrons that I get, I am going to do a big reveal. And so I've got plans for 25, 50, 75, and 100 should I get that high. And so I can tell you that the first big reveal is going to be an intro that I'm going to write specifically for my patrons, and an introduction to who the Darcy character is going to become. Because obviously in the demarvelization, I need to take Marvel out of the story. And so, her name changes, but then other parts of who she is change as well. And so I'm going to write a special little character thing just for that. If you have any questions about the work I do here on YouTube, or my work offline, or my writing, please feel free to ask down in the comments below. And now, the part many of you have been waiting for, the spoilers. Spoiler alert! So, the next chapter, which I believe is chapter 11, if I haven't totally confused myself with numbers, is Forest Trek, mostly. And there's going to be another chapter of Forest Trek after that. Let's see. Another spoiler for you. After I finish Loki of Midgard, I've actually got the next story I want to write kind of in my head. And it's going to be a new trilogy in the same universe. There's going to be a different set of characters, but there will be some cameos. And of course, my patrons will read some of those stories long before anybody else does. But the short story that I'm working on now, that I'm going to base the entire trilogy off of, Loki will have a cameo at the end, and I'm very excited about that. And the last spoiler I can tell you about that is that the main character is going to be a BAMF woman. She is so cool, I can't stand it. So no more spoilers about that for now, but I'm really excited about it. So I have one question in this last time, because apparently the last chapter I released answered just a lot of people's questions. And gosh, I'm so sorry about that. So the one question I have is from Tiantrix. And she says, I'm curious about Bucky's memories. He remembers pre-serum Steve, but not Steve as he was when they fought side by side in the Howleys. Is this a subconscious blanking of the events that lead up to his fall and subsequent capture? Pretty much, yeah. The thing about his memory right now is that he has that blanka that Frigga made him. And that is helping to bring back his happiest memories. And he has a lot of happy memories of Steve before the war. And the way Marvel paints the picture, Bucky Barnes and Steve Rogers and their time with the Howling, whatever the hell they were called, it looked like rollicking good fun. Except, war is never fun. There's camaraderie and there's beautiful, bright moments, but it's wrapped in a shroud of anguish. I'm not a soldier. I've never been to war, but I have been a priest and a chaplain and a minister to a lot of soldiers, and a lot of soldiers who came out of some of the worst wars that America has fought in living memory. And I believe them when they tell me that war is hell. So as fun and jolly as Marvel would like us to imagine that some of those moments were, I don't think they were. So that is going to be relegated to, shall we say, the painful side of Bucky's Swiss cheese memory. And that's going to come back in spits and spats, and sometimes in really unfortunate deluges. And he may never get back some of it. And I think eventually he'll come to a place of peace with that. But there's some ugly things in his head. And while he can't remember the ugly things, he's going to mourn the loss of them. And when he starts to remember the ugly things, he's going to wish he hadn't wished what he wished. Which, as Neil Gaiman tells us, is often the problem with getting what you want. The problem with getting what you want, he says, is getting what you once wanted. So, those are the spoilers that I have for now. And I'm really excited. And, oh, one more thing. I forgot. I didn't write it down. The other thing is that on January 15th, as well as drawing a name from the hat, who knows, I might actually get a hat. I might record it. It could be fun. I have a top hat. It could be cool. In addition to drawing a name for the hat, I am also going to be putting up a poll on my Patreon page that is going to be locked so only patrons can use it. And the poll is going to be part of my creative process and part of the demarvelization. And so my patrons are going to have the opportunity to give me their input and their vote on some of the changes that I'm going to make to Natasha's character. And so that's going to be the first poll. So if you think to yourself, well, gosh, I'd like to weigh in on that, go to the Patreon page, see if you can afford $1 in a dream. Otherwise, I'll see you later. Don't forget to subscribe and hit the little bell if you want announcements about when I actually update. And leave me a comment down below. Thanks. Bye.